Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is LuckyBunz, and in today's video, I'm going to be going through 15 budget Pokemon that you could potentially use in the Jungle Cup and Pokemon Go Battle League. Now, before we get started, as always, if you guys do end up finding this video helpful and informative, please make sure to smash that like button down below. It helps me out a ton with the YouTube algorithm. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so first of all, the Jungle Cup. What exactly is the Jungle Cup in Pokemon Go? So this is going to be a special cup that is going to be run alongside the Master League right now during the current rotation in Pokemon Go Battle League. Now the format for the Jungle Cup is also going to function off a 500 CP limit opposed to a 1500 CP limit like we normally see in Great League. That being said, there are also certain Pokemon types that you can only use in the Jungle Cup. So the typings are going to be as follows: Normal, Grass, Electric, Poison, Ground, Flying, Bug, and Dark. So dual typing actually plays a big part in this as well. For example, if a Pokemon is a Normal type and a Fire type like Litleo, it'll actually count in the Jungle Cup despite Fire types not actually being available, but because Litleo is a Normal type Pokemon as well, it works. Now the biggest concern when it comes to investing in Pokemon for the Little Cups is that we don't actually get these cups run that often in Pokemon Go Battle League. This season, we've only had this one Jungle Cup, and that's essentially it, so some of you may be a little bit concerned in terms of actually having viability with some of these Pokemon moving forward. The good news here is that we'll most likely see Little Cups run alongside Master League for the foreseeable future, just given how resource-heavy Master League actually is. And so with that being said, while there may be some Pokemon that are going to be a little bit more resource-heavy, there's actually a handful of Pokemon that are going to cost you less than 100,000 Stardust for the investment, and some Pokemon that are even going to cost you less than 50,000 Stardust for the investment. And so that's what we're going to go over in this video. So apologize for the long-winded intro there, but I thought I should explain things for those of you who are a little bit unfamiliar with how this stuff works. Alright, anyways, let's go ahead and jump on over to some of the Pokemon now. So the first Pokemon that we're going to go over right now is going to be Cottonee, and this is actually the #1 ranked Pokemon in the Jungle Cup. You're most likely going to see this Pokemon everywhere, and I kid you not, after the first day of running Jungle Cup, I literally saw at least one Cottonee in every single line. So you might be wondering, why exactly is Cottonee so good in the Jungle Cup? First of all, Cottonee has access to Charm. Charm is an extremely good move to use in a cup where a lot of Pokemon are kind of fragile. Additionally, Cottonee also gets Stab, same type attack bonus, from using Charm because it is a Grass type and a Fairy type Pokemon. So the combination of movesets are going to be as follows. You want to have Charm plus Grass Knot and Seed Bomb. Cottonee also only costs 10,000 Stardust and 25 Candy to unlock that secondary charge move, making it a very, very cheap investment. So Cottonee is definitely one of the #1 Pokemon that I would recommend building for the Jungle Cup. Not only is it very accessible to get, it's very affordable, but it's also the #1 ranked Pokemon. So yeah, Cottonee is definitely the go-to. So moving on over to our second Pokemon, we're going to talk about Wigglytuff next. So Wigglytuff evolves from Jigglypuff. It's going to cost you 50 Candy to evolve it into Wigglytuff, and once again, it has to be below 500 CP. Recently, Niantic did implement an evolution preview window, so you can actually see if your Wigglytuff will be over 500 CP when it evolves from Jigglypuff. Overall though, this Pokemon is definitely budget friendly, because outside of the 50 Candy Evo, it's only going to cost you 10,000 Stardust plus 25 Candy once again for that secondary charge move, which again is the cheapest investment for a secondary charge move. So Wigglytuff is going to be a Charmer as well, so you're going to have Charm, Ice Beam, and Play Rough. Now one thing I do want to mention in regards to the Charmers is that a lot of times you won't actually get to your charge moves very often. Your main objective with the Charmers is to really just fast move down, and yeah, so that's kind of the go-to. But regardless, you know, these Pokemon are very cheap investments for that secondary charge move, so having some coverage always helps. That being said, let's talk about our third Pokemon now, which is not going to be a Charmer, but it's also going to be another normal type Pokemon. So Chansey is actually going to be our third Pokemon here. Now I know what you're thinking, Chansey is going to be a really expensive Pokemon to unlock that secondary charge move, but here's the thing, you don't actually have to unlock that secondary charge move, so hear me out on this. You're going to want to have Pound plus Psychic or Hyper Beam, one or the other. I would recommend Psychic though. So the thing about Chansey is that it actually takes a ton of energy to actually get to its charge moves. The main objective for Chansey is to use it as a safe swap, to basically just use it as a tank Pokemon to give yourself some more time within the switch timer and kind of re-strategize how you're going to play out the match. Chansey is really good for that reason. Chansey on the offensive side isn't really that powerful. It's actually the weakest attacking Pokemon in the game to my knowledge. So yeah, Chansey's not going to do that much damage, but it's a tank. So you can definitely play around your match if you are using Chansey that way. So basically your investment for Chansey is just going to be to power it up below 500 CP, which really isn't too bad. Now following Chansey, let's talk about another Pokemon where you're not going to have to unlock that secondary charge move. And that Pokemon is going to be Dino. So Dino is a pretty rare Pokemon. Hopefully some of you have actually caught one by now. This is actually a decent Pokemon to invest some rare candy into. And basically the thing with Dino is pretty much the same thing with Chansey. You don't have to unlock that secondary charge move. So first of all, the full moveset for Dino is going to be Dragon Breath plus Body Slam and then potentially Crunch. But considering that you don't have to unlock that secondary charge move, you're just going to want to have Body Slam. So basically the deal with Dino is that you want to use Dragon Breath to farm down on your opponent, and then you have Body Slam there as your charge move coverage, but Crunch actually takes a little bit longer to get to you, and from my own experience running Dino, a lot of times you don't actually even get to Crunch, because it's just that Glassy and the 500 CP cup. Taking a look at the key wins for Dino, we're going to win against Ducklet, Wooper, Chikorita, Chansey, and Skarmory. And then when we look at the key losses, we're going to lose against Galarian Stunfisk, Swinub, Abomasnow, Altaria, and Onix. Also, Cottonee will 3-hit you, so yeah, take that for what you will as well, despite it not being on this list right now. So you might be noticing that a lot of these Pokemon are actually weak to Cottonee and Galarian Stunfisk. Well, why don't we take a look at a Pokemon that's actually going to do super effective damage against both of them. That Pokemon is going to be Litleo. So for Litleo, you're going to want to have Fire Fang, Flame Charge, and Crunch. And then it's also only going to cost 10,000 Stardust plus 25 candy for that secondary charge move. And specifically, if we take a look at Litleo's key wins, we're going to see it wins against Cottonee, Galarian Stunfisk, Swinub, Abomasnow, and Chikorita. So the main wins are going to be against Cottonee and Galarian Stunfisk because you're probably going to see those quite often, and even Swinub is going to be a pretty common Pokemon to see. Now following Litleo, let's talk about another Pokemon that's actually really solid against Cottonee, and that is going to be Golbat in its Shadow form. You can use Golbat in either its Shadow form or its regular form. I personally like the Shadow form a little bit better though. So Golbat, you're going to want to have Wing Attack, Poison Fang, and Shadow Ball. But if you have Frustration on your Shadow Golbat, that's going to be a problem because you can't actually TM away Frustration. The good news is you really only need Wing Attack plus Poison Fang, so Poison Fang is actually going to be a guaranteed one-stage defense debuff against your opponent. This is going to be really critical in the Little Cup. This has actually been a really big strategy that I've been using, which we'll talk about later at the end of this video when I showcase my team, but yeah, this is really solid. So Wing Attack is going to provide super effective damage against Pokemon like Cottonee, and then Poison Fang is going to provide you with that additional one-stage debuff coverage, so it's actually a really solid Pokemon to use. And then when it comes down to Shadow Ball, yeah, that's like extra coverage, but most of the time I feel like you're not going to really use it. Following Golbat though, let's talk about another really good Flying type Pokemon that's also a Dragon type Pokemon. That Pokemon is going to be Altaria. So Altaria is actually a pretty expensive Pokemon when it comes down to the candy investment, just because it does require 400 candy to evolve it from Swablu. But assuming that most of you probably played Pokemon Go this past year, you probably have a lot of candy from the Swablu Community Day. And you may even have Altaria with Moonblast, which if you do, more power to you. But overall, you don't really need Moonblast for Altaria in this meta. I would say Dragon Breath plus Sky Attack is going to be enough, so you really don't even need to unlock that secondary charge move, but of course, if you can, it's going to give you more coverage. Most of the time I feel like you're going to end up using Sky Attack though, whereas Moonblast is going to be a very niche scenario, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. And then again, for Altaria, you're going to have a really, really low CP, low-leveled Altaria. It's going to be hard to actually find one. So Altaria is going to function very similar to Dino. Basically, you're just going to fast move down with Dragon Breath and then just throw Sky Attack whenever you can. So this next one is kind of debatable, I guess you could say, when it comes down to the budget category, just because it is going to cost you a decent amount of Stardust, and it might be kind of harder to get the candy for this Pokemon. This Pokemon is going to be Galarian Stunfisk, so we already know it's top of the meta, like right behind Cottonee, it's actually number 2 ranked in the Jungle Cup. The thing about Galarian Stunfisk that actually makes it more of a budget Pokemon though, is because you really only have to unlock that secondary charge move. Outside of that, Galarian Stunfisk is extremely cheap to actually power up below 500 CP, so, you know, it's actually not so bad. If you have the extra candy for Galarian Stunfisk, if you don't mind spending 75,000 Stardust, you're going to have the rank 2 Jungle Cup Pokemon in the meta right now, which is actually really solid. So the ideal moveset for Galarian Stunfisk is going to be the same that it is in Great League and in Ultra League. It's going to be Mud Shot plus Rock Slide and Earthquake. This provides you with a lot of coverage, not to mention Mud Shot charges up Rock Slide extremely fast, and against a very fragile meta, yeah, Galarian Stunfisk is going to do really well. I think the trickiest part about Galarian Stunfisk in this meta is that a lot of people don't actually have it below 500 CP. So I don't really expect a lot of you to have Galarian Stunfisk below 500 CP, but if you do, more power to you. Taking a look at our next Pokemon, this is going to be an Ice-type Pokemon that's actually really solid in this meta. That is going to be Swinub. So for Swinub, you're going to want to have the ideal moveset Powder Snow, Icy Wind, and Body Slam. And this is actually really solid because Icy Wind is going to be a one-stage attack debuff towards your opponent. And then when it comes down to Swinub's secondary charge move, it's going to cost you 50,000 Stardust plus 50 candy to unlock it. Continuing forward here, our next Pokemon is going to be Fletchinder, which is going to be the evolution of Fletchling, the pre-evolution of Talonflame, so the second stage in this evolution line. So the ideal moveset for Fletchinder is going to be Ember plus Flame Charge and Aerial Ace. Once again, another Pokemon that's only going to cost you 10,000 Stardust to unlock that secondary charge move, so very, very cheap. And then Flame Charge is also going to give you that attack boost by 1 stage every time you use it, so it's really solid. Now the thing about Fletchinder is that it's going to be a Fire type and a Flying type Pokemon, so it will lose against Galarian Stunfisk, but of course it will win against Cottonee, which is fantastic. Additionally, it'll also win against Swinub, Abomasnow, Chikorita, and Fortress. So overall, it's actually a decent Pokemon in my opinion. You can definitely build some solid lines around Fletchinder. Now the Pokemon that's actually ranked 1 below Fletchinder is going to be really solid as well, and that's going to be Drifloon. So we already talked about Swinub a little bit, right? Where it's going to have the Icy Wind for that 1-stage attack debuff. Well, Drifloon is also going to have Icy Wind as well. The ideal moveset you're going to want to have on Drifloon is going to be Hex plus Icy Wind and Shadow Ball. But here's the thing, you don't actually need that secondary charge move, similar to Dino and similar to Chansey. So overall, your objective here is going to be to utilize Icy Wind, which will actually make a massive difference, especially against Pokemon like Cottonee, which do a ton of damage with Charm. Now I'm sure some of you probably want some more Cottonee counters for this meta, so let's take a look at another one. And that Pokemon is going to be Nidoran, the female version. So of course, Nidoran female is going to win against Cottonee, but how is it going to win against Cottonee? Well, it's a poison type Pokemon, so you're going to want to have Poison Sting plus Body Slam and Poison Fang. Nidoran unfortunately will cost you 50,000 Stardust to unlock that secondary charge move, but it's definitely worth it. Once again, utilizing Poison Fang is going to be really solid not only against Cottonee, but also other Pokemon as well. So some of the key wins from Nidoran female are going to be against Cottonee, Swinub, Abomasnow, Chikorita, and Wigglytuff. And then some of the key losses are going to be from Ducklet, Wooper, Dino, Galarian Stunfisk, and Scrafty. So hopefully at this point you guys are starting to see some trends here in terms of which Pokemon that you're winning against and which Pokemon that you're actually losing against. With that being said though, let's move on over to our next Pokemon, which is also going to have coverage against Cottonee, as well as Galarian Stunfisk. That Pokemon is going to be Numel, which you're going to want to have Ember plus Stomp and Bulldoze. Once again, this is another Pokemon that will cost you 50,000 Stardust for that secondary charge move, but it's definitely worth it because Numel is a very cheap investment overall to get below 500 CP. So Numel is going to win against Cottonee, it's also going to win against Galarian Stunfisk, Abomasnow, Skarmory, and Chansey. Now you've probably seen this next Pokemon mentioned quite often in this video already, so let's take a look at it. That Pokemon is going to be Ducklet. Now Ducklet is going to be another Pokemon that will cost 50,000 Stardust to invest into, but maybe some of you guys actually have this Pokemon from the last season, because this Pokemon was actually super relevant last season as well. So ideally the moveset for Ducklet is going to be as follows. You're going to want to have Wing Attack plus Bubble Beam and Brave Bird. And some of your key wins with Ducklet are going to be against Cottonee, Wooper, Swinub, Abomasnow, and Chikorita. So once again, taking that Cottonee win is kind of nice. But unfortunately, some of your key losses are going to be from Galarian Stunfisk, Dino, Skarmory, Chansey, and Wigglytuff. And now when we come down to our final Pokemon of the video, it's actually going to be one that you might not expect, but it's actually quite decent in this meta. And that is going to be Pikachu, in a lot of different forms. So Pikachu Libre is going to be the most relevant Pikachu form in this meta, specifically with the exclusive move Flying Press for Pikachu Libre. Now when it comes down to the key wins for Pikachu, it's going to vary depending on which Pikachu that you actually run. For example, if you're on Pikachu Libre, it's going to actually have a key win against Galarian Stunfisk, but for example, if you ran Pikachu with Surf, it's actually going to lose against Galarian Stunfisk, which is kind of weird. Pretty much going to be every single Pokemon that I wanted to go over in terms of a budget-friendly option for the Jungle Cup. Once again, a lot of these Pokemon aren't going to cost you that much Stardust. Some will cost you a little bit more Stardust than others, but most of them, if not all of them, should be below 100,000 Stardust when it comes down to investing, which is actually pretty cheap when it comes down to it because you're going to get 3 times Stardust from battling during this rotation in Pokemon Go Battle League, so you're going to get a lot of Stardust back. Most likely more than what you would invest into some of these Pokemon, so definitely consider it, especially some of the cheaper investments like Golbat or Litleo or even Cottonee. With that being said though, if you feel like I missed any Pokemon on this list, let me know in the comment section down below. I probably did, but I know for a fact I'm going to get asked this following question, so I figured I should just answer it right now, which is actually an interesting answer to this meta. Do you need good PvP IVs for these Pokemon? So normally the answer would be yes, like I would recommend it, but for the Little Cup with the 500 CP limit and most of them being extremely fragile, you actually don't need great PvP IVs. Now I'm not saying that IVs don't matter because they definitely do, and I'm sure you're going to have a little bit more bulk if you actually get a Pokemon with better IVs that you invest into, but at the end of the day, I really wouldn't worry about it too much. Most of the time it will come down to team composition and how you play out the match. Now I'm sure some of you are wondering, why should you even invest into Jungle Cup, right? Because you're probably going to end up losing ELO over the course of this rotation, and that's going to hurt you on your road to Legend. Well, I'm going to tell you something. That can be gained back. And you know what you're going to get out of this part of the season? You're going to get a ridiculous amount of Stardust, especially if you've already made it to rank 20 or higher. You're going to get 3 times Stardust, which is actually 2,700 Stardust for one single victory in a set. So whatever Stardust you spend on some of these investments, you're going to get it back tenfold. Not to mention, if you're ranked 20 or above, You're also probably going to get a legendary Pokemon occasionally, which has been very, very common this season. I'm not sure why, but I've been getting so many legendary Pokemon from the Go Battle League rewards, it's kind of strange. Like, it makes me wonder what else is in the reward pool because I get these Pokemon so often. I'm not complaining, but I've gotten so many Azelf, guys. It is crazy. Not to mention, I also got my shiny through Pokemon Go Battle League, so that's really cool. And I also got a shiny Lugia through Pokemon Go Battle League, so yeah. It's definitely worth it. And for those of you who actually haven't hit rank 20 in Pokemon Go Battle League, these matches are extremely fast-paced, so they're actually much more enjoyable than the extra Ultra League that we had to go through previously. Now, we've gone over a lot of different Pokemon that you can use in the Jungle Cup, but I'm sure some of you are wondering, what team am I actually running in the Jungle Cup myself? The team that I'm currently using in the Jungle Cup is going to be as follows: Shadow Golbat, Dino, and Shadow Swinub. So Shadow Golbat is going to have Frustration, which means I only have access to Wing Attack and Poison Fang, but it works just as well. And then Dino actually has both of the moves unlocked, but I really just use Body Slam most of the time, so Dragon Breath plus Body Slam like I mentioned in this video. And then Shadow Swinub does have Frustration TM'd away, so I do have Powder Snow plus Icy Wind and Body Slam, which is really solid for it. The reason I like this team so much is because I can utilize Poison Fang effectively to take advantage of Dino's Dragon Breath, and I can also use Icy Wind to actually reduce the damage that Cottonee deals against me. So that's the team that I've basically been running in the Jungle Cup. Honestly, it's worked pretty well for me, and I'm actually really happy to be able to run Jungle Cup right now because Ultra League and Ultra League Remix were so painful because of all the extra large Pokemon, because of the legendary Pokemon. It was just a pain, and it's a breath of fresh air to actually get through your matches quite quickly. So with everything being said, I've probably talked way too much in this video as is. If you guys want to check out some more GBL content, I'm going to leave a link to a video right here. Check it out, should be pretty good. But before you go, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you all real soon in the next one.